I want to share with you today the one key to healing anything in your life. Healing anything internally, healing anything externally in your life. Meaning any kind of difficult experience or emotion or issue that you're struggling with, or any relationship or circumstance outside in the external world of your life that you're struggling with. If you practice this one key thing, and with discipline and with commitment and with sincerity, it will transform that stuckness, that difficulty, 100%. It'll transform it 100% if you stick with it, okay? And let me share with you first, before I get to that, just a little bit about my life that'll lead into this and bring some color to this whole experience here. I was thinking about this, and there are three main phases that I've been through in my life. In the early phase of my life, there's childhood, of course, but I'm talking about my healing journey. In the first phase, I was anxious, I was depressed, I hated who I was as a person. This is when I was in my teenage years and young adulthood. I smoked tons of weed. I drank a lot. I experimented with hallucinogenics. Some of it, the use was actually to expand my mind and actually find fulfillment and find meaning in life. 80% of it, though, was to escape brutal experiences, internal experiences that I was navigating. Again, I was just I did not appreciate, and I hated who I was as a person, and I was deeply insecure. When I look back at my life and I look at my other friends and community that I had then, and they were teenagers and young adults, so they didn't really know anything. We didn't really know anything, but they were so much more settled and confident about who they were because they were able to be transparent. So all this to say that in that first phase of my life, it was just pure struggle, and it was searching for something that I couldn't get access to. In the second phase of my life, from about, let's say, 23 to 35, I really refined an effective lifestyle for myself. I found some things that I was really passionate about, which was high-performance rock climbing. I spent tons of time in the outdoors and nature. I spent 1 year, I think I spent 340 days sleeping on the ground, which I loved. I had some great friendships. I got to know who I wanted, kind of people I wanted to be friends with. I was dating people, which was really going well for the most part. I had a passion around psychology and learning about psychology that was really interesting to me. And so I had this certain career direction that was great. I ended up having this wonderful job working for a wilderness therapy program for a number of years. That was fantastic. So on the surface, things were better. Internally, they were, I would say, better because I was more fulfilled in my lifestyle, but I still didn't have the juice of life, the access to the juice of life that I really wanted. I didn't have that kind of fulfillment, that kind of passion, that meaning that I really was searching for since I was really a child, passionately. And the third phase of my life, where everything changed and I was able to unlock access to fulfillment, was an awakening. And this is also the key to healing anything, in my experience, and people that I've worked with when they have practiced this one thing. And that one thing is gratitude. In the third phase of my life, I read this beautiful book, which I recommend if you're interested in spirituality, let's call it. It's called Autobiography of a Yogi, and it's by Yogananda. It's a classic book, and if you read it, you'll be like, how can this be true? And literally everything in that book is true. There are magical things that this yogi, Yogananda, talks about, of bilocating, person being in two places at once, his gurus having these magical powers of bringing scents to dead flowers, rising people from the dead, seeing beyond space and time, which is all 100% true, that this does happen, and there are people on this planet now that can do those same kinds of things, by the way. All this to say, I appreciate how you stick with me through these tangents here, by the way, that I go on, and I usually come back to. I had this awakening where I was able to feel gratitude. Now, we practiced gratitude at the dinner table, or people talked about the importance of gratitude, but I never really owned it and practiced feeling grateful for everything in my life. When I started practicing this, the bad things, which I called bad then, now I would just call them uncomfortable things that happened to me, and now I would say they happened for me. I was unable and unwilling as well to feel grateful for those things happening to me, or the bad things, quote unquote, happening to me, both internally and externally. It was a little bit easier. I could get behind that. But internally, to feel grateful for feeling depressed, or grateful for feeling lonely, or grateful for wanting to die, which I did for a period of time in my life. Earlier in my life, I felt suicidal. And then in my 20s, I just really wanted to die because the pain that I was experiencing internally was so bad. How could I feel grateful for that? I didn't have a teacher. I didn't want a teacher at that time. So I wasn't really open to learning about things like this that I'm sharing now. But if you can be grateful for any experience that happens to you on a day-to-day basis, and maybe the bigger challenge is being grateful for things that have happened to you or with you in the past, you will unlock a whole new world of relating to yourself, and I would say to feeling better. Why is this the case? Because when we're sincerely grateful, or let's just say we're even practicing feeling grateful, we're not even like feeling the vibes of the gratitude yet. Anytime we just practice feeling grateful, we instantly get access to our heart. And the heart is not a frou-frou thing that the new age kind of spirituality invented, 20, 30, whatever years ago. It's a spiritual principle that's been in the doctrine of spirituality and meditation for thousands of years. You look at any mystical religion, or the origins of any religion or any spirituality, you will find discussions, teachings, and principles all centered around the power of being in the heart. Because any spiritual master who has attained enlightenment, whether it's Buddha or Jesus or any of the thousands of other nameless saints, we could say, that have reached enlightenment, that's, again, many are on the planet right now that I've met and know of. Any of those beings, those people, will tell you that the gateway to infinity and the gateway to, let's just in this case call it healing, lies within the heart. Now, there's the physical heart and the divine heart. There's an energetic heart and the physical heart. And what I'm talking about is that when we practice feeling gratitude, we unlock access to that spiritual heart, that love that exists inside of us. And it takes care of the rest. I mean, honestly, all we need to do is practice feeling grateful, strengthen that neural pathway in the mind, in the brain, actually, and just practice softening. Because when we get access to our heart, it gives us a new lens of looking at other people and circumstances in the world. It has us give the opportunity to feel compassion for other people. It has us soften with ourselves and accept ourselves for who we really are. And it's not about not feeling difficult emotions. Like, you can be in the heart and also feel resentful and feel angry. I mean, I think a lot of people disagree with this actually, but I don't think it's actually black and white. Because when we really own that we're feeling like, I'm feeling fucking pissed right now, or, which I do personally sometimes about things, or I feel so depressed about something I hear in the world, or a circumstance that's happening in my personal life, hopeless even. I have moments of that, more than moments of that. And what I do to always transform that emotion is go into my heart using the breath. I'll do another piece on the breath because that is the access to actually feeling in the heart for most of us. When I go in the heart and I just experience what I'm experiencing, it has me accept how I'm actually feeling, and it gives access for that emotion to move through me, and then I'm good again, right? So, and here's the thing too, is that being in the heart doesn't mean that you're soft, so to speak, like a softie. Being in the heart gives you access to passion and gives us access to being in action and fulfilling the heart's commitment. You know that saying, your heart's not in it, or the heart's really in it. I remember watching this college basketball game years ago, and there was this young kid who wasn't like the best on the team, but man, the commentators just talked about how much heart he had, and they kept saying, he's going to make a great coach someday, So when people have heart and their heart's in it, there is an energy there that comes rushing forth and has people like that be in action. Yeah? So all this to say, practice gratitude if you're in need of healing. And notice what kind of access you get to your heart as you practice the gratitude. And then open to the desires that come from the heart. Be in action intuitively of what you feel to do. Maybe it's change your job or change your relationship. Step out of a relationship. Start a new one. Spend time with yourself. Make a commitment that's based on your heart's longing and see where this goes. And all the while, be in gratitude as much as we can. All my best to you.